Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Tricky. And joining me today is a special guest, Nick Watson. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks yourself.
You're not too bad. Obviously, you played yesterday for Vic Metro, kicked a bag of five. How was it out there?
Yeah, no, it was good. Coming off a bad loss last week to the Allies, we thought we'd bounce back as a team, and we did pretty well, I think. So, yeah, it was good team performance in the end.
And I believe the carnival's over now. Am I correct? Was that the last game?
Uh, no, we got one more Vic
One more?
Country next weekend.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
And how have you found the carnival so far?
yeah, it's been good. To play out of state games, go travel with the team. It's been a good experience. Gets you sort of like set up for the AFL if you end up making it. So, it's a good experience overall.
Yeah, 100%. Now, when you were like younger in your early years, were you always that kid who had a footy in his hand from like as soon as he could walk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Come from a family. Yeah, watching dad when I grew up, and yeah, I've always had a footy. Footy's always been my passion.
And who do you barrack for now or supported then? Obviously, you might try and keep mutual now, but
I'm a Pies man, so I was very big into them.
yeah, who are some of the players you look up to now or even looked up to in your younger years coming through?
Definitely Pendles was the main one. Obviously, and then obviously you look at like Nick Dacos now.
hmm
Obviously good form at the moment, so they're pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Now, obviously, you also, am I right in saying you played at East Ringwood for your juniors?
Yeah, all my
How,
juniors. Yeah,
yeah, how
I've
was that
just
down
moved.
there? Sorry.
Yeah. It was good. Had a three-peat, so we had a pretty strong junior team, which
hmm
was good. Yeah, they helped me a lot with my progress as a younger child. So yeah, they were good for me. Now I'm obviously at Montrose. Haven't played a game there, but
hmm
signed with Montrose.
Yeah, yeah. And did you get a few league BNFs in there, I believe?
Yeah. I think I can't remember, two or three maybe. Yeah.
Were you playing still as a forward then, or were you running for the midfield?
I was a pure midfielder then back in those days.
Yeah, so now you're pushing more probably as a forward now.
Yeah, more forward. Try and push up the ground every now and then, but predominantly forward.
Now going into you're 11 years old and you got picked for the Victorian schoolboys team, I believe. At that time, you're the youngest person to be picked there. How was that for to get that phone call and that honor?
Yeah, that was a huge honor. Obviously, when you're young, you want to make all those teams yeah, it was a good experience. Like, I think, I can't remember who I was playing with back then, probably like the George Wall or Harry Sheasel.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it was a good experience, like, especially as a young one. And then, played it the year after as well when I was top age. And I was also went to Darwin, I think, that year. So, all those little trips, like, have helped me get to where I am now, just like, especially through my professionalism and stuff. Like, yeah, going into it was definitely helped a lot.
Yep. Then moving on, you started at Roval Sports Academy. How did that go about, and how was that for you? Obviously, you then transferred over to Caufield, but started with Roval. How was that?
Yeah, no, that was good. Under Darren Buick for 3 or 4 years. He helped me a lot with all my craft and everything to do with my footy, all the basics. Yeah, he progressed my game a lot, and yeah, it was just good. It was a hard choice to go to Caulfield in the end, but it was good. Roval helped me a lot, and they put me in good stead.
Yep. What was the process going to Caufield? Did you just get like a letter, or did you try out yourself?
So it was a scholarship, a
Mm-hmm.
scholarship, and yeah, I got it early in year 10, and it was about a 3 month process to get to make the move because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay at Rover, but I also wanted to take the opportunity because Caulfield is one of the best schools in Victoria. So I really couldn't give up the opportunity to move there, and I've loved the decision.
And speaking of moving to Caulfield, take us inside what it's like on those AIS games. What's the
Yeah,
atmosphere like? It looks unreal. Like I haven't been to one, but it looks unreal.
yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I wasn't really like obviously moving there in year 11. Everyone was telling me all about it, and I was like, oh, we'll just wait and see. But yeah, the first game I ever played, against Xavier, that was probably one of the biggest games I've ever played in. Just the atmosphere's ridiculous, like it's second to none. And yeah, obviously last year got to play in a grand final against Brighton. We ended up drawing it, but that was the biggest crowd I've ever played in by far, and the atmosphere was just ridiculous. It was heaps of people there, and this year there's been a few games like that as well. So, you get used to it every now and then, but like you just take it all in and just enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, you've always been one of the smallest people. How have you've probably been told when you're younger that about your height and all that. How have you taken that on board? Has that ever put you down, or has it always just been, nah, I can keep doing this?
It's never really put me down. There's been obviously a few people say I'm too small to play AFL, but I don't really. It doesn't really get to me. It used to sort of get to me back in the younger days, but I've been told by many people like Brent Harvey and all them that you're never too small to make it. And yeah, I'll just you do what you can control. Like you can't really control growing, but you do everything else and try and do it better than everyone else.
Yeah, and what types of like parts of the game do you focus on much? Like going, say, in pre-season training, what do you like to perfect coming into the season?
Craft, me one-on-one crafts, as I'm obviously going to be most likely smaller than my opponent. I like to be stronger around the ball to win the one-on-ones and like my speed, agility, all the ground balls, all the what the smalls need. I try and work on those ones in particular.
Yeah, and you also made a little bit of a move to halfback for a couple of games. How'd you find that move?
Yeah, no, it was good. It's sometimes good to get out of the forward line. It gets you can get sort of stuck in a hole down deep forward, especially when it doesn't come down some games. So, it's been good to make the move. It's obviously probably going to make the move back there sometimes through the end of this year. It's good for a change up. You can get stuck down forward for a bit too long sometimes. So, yeah, it's good.
Now, I can see through some of the videos, you're a bit of a character on the field, especially with the social media stuff. How do you deal with, obviously, you get posted about a lot, but the on field, you probably get a bit from the crowd, a bit from the opposition. Do you feed off that or?
I get a few, especially with school footy. Footy is very toxic, especially with the crowd. So, it took me a bit to get used to because last year I copped a fair bit of media attention and I was copping it a bit as well through a lot of haters. So, last year, it started to, that's when it all really hit me. It's just like everyone just yelling out from the sidelines, copping it on the field, off the field.
Did it ever
Um,
affect you, like mentally, like at points, or
nah,
no, not really?
really I had good people around me to look after me, and I was on phone calls and stuff, just to everyone checking in, which was good. I had very good people around me that which helped me get through it, but it doesn't really get to me now. I'm used to it now, so I just got to get used to it if I want to make that next step into AFL.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, you're a small forward though, but you do like and rate your one-on-one, and you like to get up like a Jamie Elliott type of player. You like to take big marks. Is that right?
Yeah. I've been working on my athleticism ever since I was a younger kid. So, yeah.
And then obviously with the Vic Metro and all that, who are some of your favorite teammates that you've played with so far?
So last year I played as a bottom major, playing with like Wardlaw, Ashcroft. The way he goes about it, it was a good like learning curve for me. And then this year Archie Roberts he's probably the funny one of the group. There's a few. We've got a good tight group this year that I like playing with, so it's been good. I could name a fair few, but I won't take up too much time.
And then also, obviously, coming up to the draft, coming up in a few months, I always like to ask this because let's be honest, some people aren't open to it or hesitant to it. If it came and your name got called out, would you be open to be making that interstate move?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you don't really get a choice. Obviously, as a Melbourne boy, I'm pretty sure most Melbourne boys would be preferably like to stay in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm open to anything. It's just at the end of the day, you're getting drafted, which most kids dream of. So you got to sort of take it and move on. I'm open to anything. I know they take good care of kids when they move out of state and with the housing and just looking after them. But I'm open to anything.
And with the carnival and obviously the AOS squad as well, what's some of the opportunities and places you've been able to go to as well, like grounds and all that?
Yeah. So with the AIS, the AFL Academy, we've played on gather rounds, which was good. It was a good atmosphere. There was a lot of people around Adelaide. So that was a good experience overall. We played against a Samful team, well, which is basically a VFL team. We played against Port's VFL team, which under lights, which was pretty good. We played, I don't know what ground it was called. It was out in the bush somewhere in Adelaide. But then we got to play at Marvel as well against Carlton VFL later on, which was another good experience just against the bigger bodies. yeah, you learn a lot out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And then also going into it, you looks like you've performed a bit of a bond with like Harley Reid and all that type of stuff. How are they going?
Yeah, I'm pretty close with Harley. Yeah, he's going well at the moment. Obviously, yeah, he's at similar stage at me. He's just sort of hoping the draft can hurry up, but loving his footy at the moment as well. So yeah, I'm
Is
pretty
that
close to him and
is
loving
that the
footy.
best part? Is that the best part about the carnivals in the state, that you get to connect with people that you wouldn't normally connect with, say if you're playing for Eastern Rangers and that? Have you enjoyed
Yeah,
that part of it?
yeah, it's been good. Obviously, like with the All Oz squad, you get to meet all different blokes around the state, and hear their stories about how like I know some kids from WA travel like 3 hours to get to training every Tuesday and Thursday. So, and I'm like a 5 minute drive, so I sort of feel bad for like some of the people out there, but you hear their stories, and yeah, it's just a lot different to what we do in Melbourne.
Yeah, 100%. I know he'll be listening, so he'll want to get a mention. Obviously, you went to school with my brother Corey.
Yeah, Corey.
What were you guys like at school together?
Oh, he was a bit of a troublemaker. We had a joke about one of our school teachers, Fish. It's pretty funny. Yeah, he was a good mate of mine at Roeville. So yeah, haven't seen him in a while, but good to see him soon.
Yeah, 100%. And one more thing I'd like to end off on is for the younger kids that are coming through, like the 12-year-olds and that, who think they're too small or they're this, they're that. What advice would you give to them to better their craft or to keep going and not listen?
Yeah, one of the main things was just control the controllables. You can't really control your height. Just do whatever else you can to get to that level that you want to make. And at the end of the day, you're never too small.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you for your time, Nick, and best of luck with the draft. Hopefully, you go get drafted and very high too, and hopefully it's
Yeah,
to a Melbourne-based team. We hope.
yeah. Thanks,
Cheers,
Trent.
that.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate.
Thank you.